So let's say that you want to start a movement. Well, first off, you have to take into consideration the fact that are people even going to ride the wave that you yourself create? I mean, not everybody likes surfing, and so you got to see if people are actually into surfing, and whether or not, if you create the wave, do people actually have a way to ride the wave that you're creating itself? I mean, is there a target market, or will you yourself be creating the market in which you wish to target? And there you have it. Are you going to create the wave? Are you going to ride the wave? Is there people that would actually ride the wave that you created? Or, in a sense, are you going to be the one that rides your own wave of creation? So if you've really been paying attention, obviously I'm not necessarily talking about surfing and waves from the ocean. I'm talking more so about trends and marketplaces and the ability to see trends that are going on, to capitalize on current movements, to possibly see where trends may be going, and in effect create your own trends, create your own markets, and to capitalize on the market which you create. Now, there are many ways in which to capitalize on creating your own wave or capitalizing on pre-existing waves themselves. Google itself is quite possibly one of the best tools that any financially savvy or financially interested person in regards to business can use. Now, all you need to really do is go onto Google Trends and you'll find this out really quickly. I can see the top searched for items in relation to demographics, geographical areas, and other top related items in regards to the item that I'm looking at itself. And so, if I myself am a YouTube channeler and I want to create the most effective, marketing campaign for my channel itself, then maybe I should use Google Trends and look at the waves that are currently going on, how people are surfing them, and see if I can possibly capitalize on either amplifying the current waves or capitalize on the way in which people themselves are riding the waves that are already going. Or maybe I myself would like to create my own wave in which people could ride. So there's benefits to each, and I'll go over those a little bit more in detail upcoming in this video here. So if you're going to capitalize on a wave which is pre-existing, then what you already have to realize is that the market itself is pretty saturated. Now, by me studying what it was that I found on Google Trends, I found that the top searched for items in regards to YouTube is in regards to music. So if I really wanted to ride the biggest wave that is currently on YouTube, due to the fact that I myself am using YouTube to market my ideas and to market possible business ventures, then wouldn't you think that I would myself like to get in on the music movement? Well, here's the problem with a huge pre-existing wave that people are already riding. Let's say that I myself amplify this wave a little bit by creating some content which fits in with this wave, and that is music. Well, can you see how hard it is to create a difference or to actually see a difference in this wave for somebody who is trying to gain attention, to possibly market a product, or to capitalize on an idea? I mean, it's pretty saturated. So the difference that you're actually going to notice in the rise of the wave is going to be very minimal because the wave itself is already huge. It's like adding a drop of water into the ocean. The ocean itself already has so much water that me adding this little drop is going to be pretty insignificant. So yeah, sure, it's a lot easier for me to capitalize on a pre-existing wave because the idea is already there. Rather than trying to get people motivated and interested into something new, to change people's viewpoints on what it is that I think should be relevant or interesting within their lives. So in trying to capitalize on something that's already going on, you can see the challenges that are presented there. And how is it that people themselves are surfing this wave? And so I can, again, go on to Google Trends and I can look at what are the devices in which people are using to view this content. And in most regards, it's cell phones. So the market there is already pretty saturated for somebody like me who's trying to come in and be unique, independent, not necessarily find myself just another, drop of water in the giant and the vastness that is the ocean, and just be lost in its depths to, the few supreme individuals which kind of rule the skies, so to speak, over this saturated market. So it's not necessarily like I can capitalize on creating the surfboard or creating the wave in itself because it's already, so saturated. Now, I can then find myself into sub-markets, and I can find myself within, specific categories, and I can possibly capitalize on being, something that's fairly unique, but I'm not going to gain such a broad audience or a broad market, because that's where the big guys actually fall, is because they lose out to the little guys in regards to specificity, to uniqueness. McDonald's and these other chain conglomeration corporations, they really saturate the markets. But the fact of the matter is that, sure, they have a standard way in which their food is presented and seen throughout the world. And, where you go from one McDonald's to the others, it's not necessarily going to differ that much because it's so standardized. But where they get beat out is by somebody who's really unique, that comes in and they have a very specific market, and they're able to beat out these giant companies because they're able to really focus in and, on the fine details of things. Now, I could do this in regards to YouTube and to music, and I could possibly say, well, okay, I'm going to find a trend. I'm going to, in a sense, ride the wave, but while I'm riding the wave myself, I'm going to, in a sense, create another wave on top of this wave. Now, for example, I could look into trends and I could see an up and rising music star, and I could possibly start creating merchandise, and I could actually advertise on my YouTube channel my thoughts and opinions, maybe advertise a little bit of the songs, maybe get some royalty or something like that for actually putting content on my page if I myself have enough viewers. And then I could start actually marketing the products which go hand in hand to fans of this icon. And so in that way, I'm specializing within something that it itself is pretty vast. And that's probably one of the best ways for somebody who's an individual kind of little guy, so to speak, who really wants to get in on the big market. Now, the other way to really capitalize and look at things in terms and regards of metaphorical waves is trends, and how to ride the wave and capitalize and create waves on waves would be to create the wave itself. Rather than amplifying pre-existing waves, rather create a wave. And the benefits of doing this are actually they far outweigh simply amplifying another wave, or in a sense actually creating a minute wave on a larger wave, because what you're actually doing is, let's say you have a flat body of water. Now, the impact or the significance which is seen from the perspective of others as you actually create this wave on a seemingly flat body of water will be much more significant, and you'll be able to capitalize on it much more because it'll be much more observable. It'll be much more significant. You'll be able to see the change much more, rather than if you were to try to just drop a piece of, a drop of water in the vastness of the ocean. I'm creating a wave on something which was previously flat. And in this, I have an advantage because now I kind of control the market a little bit and I'm the expert. And of course, as soon as the wave itself becomes large enough, there might, in a way, be those who try to come and capitalize on the wave in which I've created. And I might find myself having competitors within the wave itself that it was originated from me. But in doing so, I have this huge head start on everybody else. And I can really saturate the market with my marketing scheme and all of my foresight into where the wave is kind of go, because I can kind of direct it in a lot of ways. And if I can really convince people that this is something that they should be interested in and invested in, not only with their time, but with their money and with other ventures as well, then maybe I'll have something that's really viable. And so whenever you're trying to start something up, what's already going on? Can I possibly capitalize on what's already going on? Can I foresee possible movements in trends in which I can create some parallels that may be improvements of what is currently going on? Or can I create something totally new, which may be a little more difficult because you'll have to totally create the foundation rather than, trying to ascend to the top of a mountain that's already built. You pretty much have to build the mountain from scratch. And both have their difficulties and both have their benefits. Now, whether it is that you're going to create the wave, ride the wave, capitalize on a wave of your own creation, I guess it's all up to you and how it is that you ride the wave. All right, everybody. Happy surfing. Over and out, y'all.